It's green for go. They're racing. He says go. He says ta-da. And Tiger Tara rolls away from them on the home turn. Here comes another big boil over. Equine athleticism at its best. The king is in the castle once more. This is in one race. The rest are almost in another postcode. She is a star with a capital S. It's going to be a triple treat, a miracle three-peat. Ladies and gentlemen, you have witnessed history here at Menangle. What about that? It's getting right up on the sprint lane and it's going to bolt in.
Hello and welcome back to the Menangle Angle. My name's Jessica Watkins and joining me is our General Manager for Racing Operations, David Wonson. Well, Wano, what an incredible past 2 weeks we've had here at Club Menangle, of course. We saw the Cordina Chicken Farms Chariots of Fire taken out by Bay of Biscay, and on Saturday night it was the Garrards Miracle Mile taken out by Don Hugo. It's just been an incredible few weeks here. Yeah,
Saturday night didn't disappoint, did it? Great crowd, great atmosphere, great racing, and great result for the connections of Don Hugo, Luke McCarthy. Take a bow. Tony LaCastro and all his family here, please take a bow. That horse's CV over the last 6 months is incredible. I don't know if it'll be repeated anytime soon. They've had an amazing run. But the race, fantastic. The racing on the night, fantastic. Atmosphere, fantastic.
It was just a great night all round on track, and we've got a big show coming up today. We're going to be catching up with Fred Hastings, our race caller here in the metropolitan area, and we'll be doing a recap of Garrards Miracle Mile Night. We'll also chat with him about the Renshaw Cup coming up this Saturday night at Penrith, because Swayze, he's going for a $500,000 Carnival of Cups bonus. We'll also speak with David Aiken and find out how Max Delight pulled up after his fifth placing in the Miracle Mile, and also chat to him about his team that he has engaged this Friday night here at Menangle, and we'll preview those 8 races on our card this Friday. We'll also chat about the best thing we saw this week and some sectional stars. So big show coming up. Wano, let's get stuck straight into it. Well, I'll kick us off with the best thing that I saw this week, and how can I go past the overall night of Garrards Miracle Mile Night, night 2 of the TAB Carnival of Miracles. The atmosphere on track was just electric. The racing was incredible, highlighted by Don Hugo, like you mentioned in the opener there, Wano, a Eureka, an Inter Dominion, and now a Miracle Mile. He is an out-and-out superstar, and also Thirsty Merc performing live and fashions on the field. It was a very good night here on track. So that's the best thing I saw here this week.
Yeah, look, I referred it to the castle when I was on the morning line the other morning. It was the vibe. The vibe was fantastic. Everyone that left said what a great night they had, whether they're in hospitality, whether they're on the front lawn. But I'm going to go a little bit different, Jess. The best thing I've seen this week, I actually seen it Monday, and that was the turnover figures. So supplied from the tab, but it was up 29%.
Wow.
Meeting on meeting from last year. That's a fantastic result in the climate we're living in, and we know how hard it is on people out there, but to have an upswing of 29% year on year is a fantastic result. We know the card was good, we know the night was good, but when you bring all these good horses together, people are interested. So, and I know Rob Waterhouse, their stands, they've never had a night like they've had the other night. People were lined up at the bookmaker stands all night. So I know we keep referring back to responsible gaming and gambling, but it was just a fantastic result.
Yeah, that must have made you one very happy racing manager as well on Monday when you were seeing those results come through.
Yeah, I raised the finger.
You did a little salute there. Well, sectional stars this week. I've come up with one sectional star from our meeting on Saturday night, and that was in race 9, the final event on the card, and it was 4th placed Tay there. She won the quickest last half of the race, 53.6, and also the fastest 3rd and 4th quarters of the race in 27.8 and 25.8. She got home in. So she's up there in that free-for-all mares grade, but I'd be following along with her because I think there's a win just around the corner for her.
And really important, there's another feature mares race at the end of this month. It's that last Friday, the 28th. There's a $30,000 mares race. I think there was about a length and a half between the first 6 horses here on Saturday night. So all these mares, just a little reminder that there's another $30,000 mares race at the end of this month. Keep them going along. And then we head into that pacing for Pink Night late April, early May. So plenty of opportunities for them.
Well, Wano, our very first special guest of today's show is none other than our Metropolitan race caller here in New South Wales, Fred Hastings. Welcome back to the Menangle Angle and welcome to the bottom of the NRL Premiership ladder, because it is a bleak state of affairs for Parramatta and Chook supporters
Freddie.
at the moment.
Cop that. Welcome to the show, and your team are very ordinary. Yeah, look, hey, Jess, as I say to you, Roosters and Parra down the bottom, but you know what? It's 1 week. You don't win a premiership in March. Mind you, the way they both played, they won't be playing in the grand final in October either. But hey, we dare to dream. G'day, Wano. Trust you well.
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, Freddie. Yeah, reversal of form might be a steward's inquiry if they come back over the next few weeks after the way they went on the weekend.
If they beat Penrith this week, I mean, I think I'll walk around the track backwards barefoot. I won't say Menangle. That's too far. A little 800-metre track might be more my game.
He wants to go to Wavell or Narra Showground or something like that.
Yeah, 500. Yeah, we'll go to Maitland or somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, Freddie, we're coming off an incredible 2 weeks of racing here at Club Menangle. Don Hugo taking out the Garrards Miracle Mile on Saturday night. You said in your call there that, and he has arrived as a real superstar, and I think that couldn't be any more true.
Well, look, we all know his qualities, leading up to the Miracle Mile. We saw what he did in the Eureka. That was against, the young horses and, an element of, uncertainty as to how he'd go playing with the big boys. There was never any doubt in Tony LaCastro, the owner, and Luke McCarthy, the trainer's mind that he would step up. Then we saw it through the Interdom, and you still had naysayers that were saying it wasn't a vintage Inter-Dominion series. You've still got to beat the horses that are in front of you, and you've still got to compete over, 4 grueling nights. So, I was, quite happy to say, well, hang on, this horse is well on the way winning an Inter-Dominion. But to take on arguably the best field that I've certainly called in a Miracle Mile and beat them, he's definitely arrived as a real star, and it's sort of salivating to think the clashes we could have in the next two or three seasons. Horses like he and hoping they stay sound. Horses like Leap to Fame and Swayze and the like. Geez, we're going to have some good fun over the next few years.
Yeah, it sounds like they're all going to go to Albion Park for the Inter-Dominion, which would be fantastic for harness racing, just not Albion Park. Mm-hmm. But, a lot was made also of Don Hugo, the races he got left out over the last 12 months. But, they left Andrew Johns out of a schoolboys team once. Sort of proved him wrong, didn't he?
Just a little bit. Just
a little bit, mate. Yeah, fantastic run. We've spoken about Don Hugo and we'll continue to speak about him. We're just going to go through the rest of the program as well. The Hammerhead Trotters Mile changed a lot with Oscar Bonavea, the favourite, galloping at the start, uncharacteristically. Greg Sugars, didn't he have an up and down 45 minutes there? But Kiyang Chucky, he put the writing on the wall during the Inter-Dominion. He was very, very strong through the Inter, and it just seems like sometimes these horses improve coming out of it, Don Hugo being one of those. They actually get better, they get stronger, they get faster coming out of an Inter-Dominion series, and Kiyang Chucky's form this campaign has been first class, hasn't it?
It has, and just quickly back to Oscar. I mean, Greg Sugars in a pre-race interview with Britt, he actually said he didn't think one was a great draw because the horse could get a bit fizzed up and, he basically predicted it, 100% that the horse, as the green light went on, made a gallop, and that was it for Oscar Bonavena. You can argue was the best horse in the race, but it just wasn't to be for Oscar. Then we had, of course, the Locomotive, our Cotter of the Year, and just an outstanding type, won the Inter-Dominion and beat Kiyang Chucky, as well as Kiyang Chucky went. You couldn't take anything away from the Locomotive. He just had to do too much work from that barrier. And while all that was happening, Kiyang Chucky, as you say, Wano, has just gone to that next level. And it is amazing how an Inter-Dominion series, and in particular an interstate series, where they're travelling and as we know in New South Wales, we have heats at Newcastle, Bathurst, Menangle. So there's a fair bit of travelling to be done even within the series, let alone travelling interstate initially. And it really does toughen them up mentally. And that's definitely what we saw with Kiyang Chucky, a deserved maiden Group 1 victory. Hard to believe when you look at the horse's record and the races it's contested, that it hadn't won a Group 1 before Saturday night.
I know.
But it was able to win, and thoroughly deserved.
I know, went off 151.9, second fastest time nearly ever, and pretty easily. I've got to say, done it comfortably.
100%. 4/10 off the record, that stood for several years now. 151.5. 151.4 was quite incredible, and it really turned into a real powerful trotter. I've got to give a rap to James Rattray's horse, London to a Brick. This is a horse that probably showed untold potential in its juvenile years, and it's probably been a little up and down over the last probably season and a bit, but it returned somewhere near to its best, only beaten 6 metres. And then we had RC Phoenix and the Locomotive, but they went solid time. And, you sort of love to see these stories unfold on big race nights. And that was a good one for the Lees, with Key and Chucky breaking its maiden Group 1 status.
I know that Wano mentioned just before there that Greg Sugar's had an up and down night, but we'll talk about one of the highs of his night, and that was taking out the Slingsby Holdings New South Wales Derby final aboard Always Hot for Emma Stewart, and he extended his record to 8 wins from 8 starts. He won the Derby by 8.6 metres, and doesn't he look like a star in the making?
Yeah, look, you try hard, and, we've all been around the game for a long time. You try not to get too carried away with 2- and 3-year-olds, because so much can change as they progress and get older. But you come across, every now and again, some special ones that are going to take the next level and go to the next level. We've seen it historically over the years. With some great horses out of New Zealand, and then we've had some great ones here in New South Wales. Always Hot has that stamped all over him. An outstanding horse, has a really high cruising speed, obviously stays well, and 153.9 for the mile and a half. It was well outside Max Delight's record, that being said, but you don't get extra prize money for breaking records.
Still a really good time.
It's a fast time for a 3-year-old, yeah.
Those last 3 sectionals are just outstanding.
Well, that's the thing. He got away, I think fair to say, he got away with a pretty moderate lead time and a pretty moderate first quarter, and that's when things started to happen. Fader Waits made its move around them, and things quickened up, and Greg just turned it into he drove the best horse in the race like the best horse in the race, and just said, okay, you want this, boys, you're going to have to chase. And then they went 27-4, 26-6 and 27-4. And the horse won by, I think it was 8.6 metres. Could have won by 18.6 if Greg really wanted to. He is an absolute star. In case it's happened, and I apologise if it has happened already, but if it hasn't, someone needs to get on the phone and start talking about the horse being in the Eureka, because he's just a phenomenal horse. And, we've already had one horse, Bay of Biscay, that's already been grabbed for the Eureka in September. This horse, I've got no doubt, will be the next to be grabbed.
Okay, I'm going to mention something just unscripted, Freddie. You've got a slot.
Yeah.
Theoretically, you've got a slot.
Yep.
Do you take
I've got a slot.
Hot?
I'm going to take Always Hot. He's going to draw low as a 3-year-old, so he's going to get a draw. He's not going to have to do too much. I guess he's taking on some 4-year-olds. But I just think he's got that X factor about him that he's just such a strong, powerful horse with that high speed as well. Has a little bit of gate speed. I don't know that we've really seen that tested to the letter, but from barrier 1, barrier 2 even, he's a horse that's going to get, on the summation that there might be 2 3-year-olds in the race. He's either going to get 1 or 2, even if there were 4. He's still going to have a nice draw for the 2,300. So if it was me, if they said, Fred, what does it cost to have a slot? A couple of 100,000?
Yeah, you've got that.
I'll just go and dig up a jam tin. Hang on.
Yeah,
I'll just get the wife to go out and dig up a jam tin. Yeah, I don't think so. But yeah, no, I'd be Always Hot for sure, Dave.
Mate, we're just going to go straight on here to the Australian light horse free-for-all. Don't Stop Dreaming. Horses coming out of the Miracle Mile. I think there was Bondi Lockdown done it a couple of years ago as well. Come out of the Miracle Mile. The next year come out and won the Australian light horse free-for-all. Don't Stop Dreaming. Race was run to suit Kate Gath at her best. Just a little bit patient there while they went a bit crazy up in front. There were some really hard early sectionals. And, she just produced a pearler, didn't she?
I think that was nearly the drive of the night. She had to have the horse sort of hit that firing line, and when they went around, I thought, oh, she's going to be really in trouble here. And somehow she got 3 deep with a helmet to follow. And that was the telling factor. Then she had to come a bit deep on that final turn. And I think I heard her interview say, she said, I thought I blew it at having to go so wide on that final bend. But I think it was the best thing for the horse because it got into some clear air. I thought it was a cracking drive by Kate. We know she's capable of those drives quite often, and ended up being a good night for Kate with a couple of winners. But that was a pearler of a drive. The horse itself really deserved a good win under its belt. It's been racing all the good horses over the last couple of seasons, and a Group 2 worth 100K was a nice race to win. It beat Bulletproof Boy. It ran a terrific race. It came out of the qualifiers and was, in fact, the first emergency for the Miracle Mile. And so often you see that a horse, in theory, the horse was, the 9th best. Didn't get a run in the Miracle Mile, but was deemed the 9th best through its performances, and then ended up coming out and running a cracking race at about 33 to 1. And what about Kerry Ann's horse at 100s? Canina Problema. It's kind of doing that, producing that sort of run, and it ran a cracker for third. But Kate Gath, take a bow.
In the Ultra Air Jail Wraith Memorial, it was run at Group 3 level, and we saw the Victorian Visitor in Soho Americano for Michael Stanley reign supreme here.
I tipped this, didn't I? I'm sure I tipped this last week.
You did give this one a very strong push.
I've got to take credit for anything I get.
Freddie,
absolutely.
Freddie, she was a very impressive winner.
Just on that, Wano and Jess, I should just point out of the panel of experts, and not defining myself as one, but in the race book I had all the tips. I was the only one that went for the Don. Anyway, Jess,
Just while we're on that, I'm the only one that had the first 4 numbers as well, so I'll throw that in too. Not in the correct order,
but... Menangle angle, if you're not listening to the Menangle angle, you're just not in the game.
No, you're not.
Winners everywhere. But Soho Americano, Jess, you're so right. It was a race that, I guess coming into it, Grant's horse, Cool and Classy, was there was expectations on it. Sugar Pie Honey, who of course won a Group 1 later during the latter part of last year, it was another that was talked about. But this horse, Soho Americano, it's going to go on to Bathurst, and it's going to be super duper competitive through the series there, the Gold Crown Carnival up there. For the Tiara, just super impressive, and just keeps doing everything that Stanley wants her to do. When you look at a record overall, it's starting to become quite impressive with 4 wins this season alone, 6 wins overall. She's a really professional type of filly who knuckles down to her work, and I think Bathurst is going to suit her down to the ground.
Yeah, 51-3's not lazy either, is it? 151, 3-year-old fillies, early season 3-year-old fillies.
Early season, and there was some really nice fillies in the race. We've got like I said, Sugar Pie Honey. It is a good crop, and it's a crop, I think, the upper echelon within that group of horses. We're going to see them clash several times in several races over certainly the rest of this season, and potentially, the sort of horses we could get, the fillies we could get for the Oaks later on in May. It's going to be quite a mouth-watering race.
Yeah, and we go to this last sapling stakes, the multi-quip aggregate sapling stakes. Show me the tan lines. Well, people can see that on a weekend when I'm down at South Beach, but I don't show them off too often. But they paid a little bit of money for this, and it certainly delivered. In another 152 early season 2-year-old. Looks like it's got some potential. And once again, Kate Gath to the 4.
Yeah, Kate again produced a nice steer on probably, arguably the horse having its first run coming across the ditch. So obviously something was sighted there that they thought was super impressive. Show me the tan lines, as you say, went that fast time. Again, there were some good runs in and around the race, but Show Me the Tan Lines has got great potential, and it's a race. If you look at the race overall, the sapling, and you look at the calibre of horse that has won the race over the years, it is a good horses race. It's produced Miracle Mile winners, it's produced Inter Dominion winners, and many other group race winners over the years. It's one of those races. It takes a good one to win it, and the good ones usually invariably go on to better things down the track. So I think you'll see a lot more from Show Me the Tan Lines. We certainly don't want to see any more of Wano's tan lines, that's for sure, Jess. But the equine Show Me the Tan Lines, I can't wait to see him down the track, because I think he's going to really evolve into a nice horse.
I'm just putting it out there, mate. I'm just putting it out there.
He certainly looks a very impressive juvenile. And Freddie, well, we've caught you on a Thursday, but it's actually a day off for you today.
Yeah, what are you doing tonight? Thursday night?
I know. I was going to say, why couldn't the Roosters be playing tonight? And then I realised they're playing Penrith, and I don't want to put myself through that agony.
That's
unfortunately, I'll be at Menangle tomorrow.
So
you'll
concentrate on the races tomorrow night.
Yeah. Well, there'll be nothing else to concentrate on. I'll try and act like a professional race caller for you, Wano, and not make any mistakes. But it's a rare day off, and the reason for that, of course, is initially it was going to be just Penrith and Newcastle swapping, and Penrith were going to race the Friday night, but then there was some real foresight, I thought, shown, and some great cooperation between the governing body and the principal club, and of course the Penrith club. And what's ended up happening is Menangle are going to switch to the Friday night simply because of that football game. Someone realised there was an NRL fixture. Penrith were playing the Roosters. Obviously, it's not at Penrith Stadium because they're refurbing that. But they were going to have they're actually busing a heap of people from Penrith to Parramatta to watch the Panthers play. And it would have taken maybe some of the racegoers away from the Friday night trot.
Definitely would have.
So you're talking several buses, and now we've got this, I guess you want to call it a standalone Saturday for a provincial club that actually is their first, and it's going to be a cracking night. I'm hearing talk of 6,000 to 7,000 there. Birds of Tokyo are performing, and just that X Factor race with the Renshaw Cup, the Carnival of Cups, can Swayze win it, and therefore go on and pick up another $500,000 bonus. I just think the way this has unfolded in terms of Penrith and Menangle swapping to make sure it maximises the potential for a big crowd on Saturday night, I just thought this was a great move by all involved, so well done.
It looks like it's going to be a great night out there at Penrith on Saturday night. And Freddie, have you got Swayze on the top in the Renshaw Cup?
Its run was as good as anything in the Miracle Mile. It was desperately unlucky. It was the one spearing through, and it caught me a little off guard. I knew there was one there. I just couldn't quite grab the colours. And then when they speared into the clear, I saw it was Swayze right up there, and have watched the replay several times. And the more I see it, the more I scratch my head. And if anyone's listening to this and wants to get a bird's eye view of what it's like to be sitting in a sulky, I know Club Menangle on their website have got vision, a split screen of the actual race from the camera point of view, but then there's actually on the bottom of the screen Cam Hart with driver cam, to pardon the pun, driver cam on his helmet, and you can see what it's like. It was brilliant vision, and you can see in the early stages when you people sit down to watch this, you'll see in the early stages the head turns from Cam, and he's looking to see if he's got room on his outside to get out. Unfortunately, he was kept in the pocket and had to end up staying on the inside. But you can actually see he was real keen to get off because his head turns about 3 times, and you can see there's no gap, no room for him to get Swayze off the inside.
Luke was a little smart. Luke was a little smart, wasn't he?
Oh,
he knew exactly where he was.
It was a great drive. He had to keep Swayze where he was, and I think that's evidenced by the fact that Swayze hitting the line the way he did. And for that reason, Jess, I've got to have Swayze over the 2,500. Back row draws always difficult. At least there's also captain, as we know, that the captain beating Captain Hammerhead at Albury, and I guess denied Swayze the opportunity for racing for $1 million bonus on Saturday. But where Captain Hammerhead sort of comes up with the draw, he's got Swayze right to his outside, and I don't think Cam's going to let things unfold the way they may have at Albury. So that just for me leads me to think Swayze can win it. In doing so, we'll pick up Harness Racing New South Wales, I guess a total of $500,000 in bonuses. He's already earned $250 by winning 3 of the races. If he wins 4, that goes from $250,000 to $500,000. It's a pretty it's been a pretty fair 6 months for connections of Swayze, the Boots clan, and Jason and Cam. When you consider he's won a New Zealand Cup, he's won all those other cups, picked up a $250,000 bonus, and Jess, maybe on Saturday, all things being equal, it could be another 250 large in the bank.
Well, he picked up 120,000 just over the, which he wasn't going to get, because he wasn't going.
Well, that's right. He wasn't going.
In the sprint, he won. He got 60. He comes fourth
how
the night, got
Jason
60. There's 120s just jumped in as well.
The Hunter Cup as
well. He wasn't going.
Hunter Cup.
The Hunter Cup. He wasn't going to New Zealand. He wasn't. He raced it young, and then
he wasn't going to the Hunter Cup. He wasn't going to the Miracle Mile.
He wasn't going to the Hunter Cup. He wasn't going in the Miracle Mile. And but Jason's got this knack of having this horse cherry ripe when he needs him to be, and the horse, whatever Jason wants him to do, the horse does it. It's just a great relationship between a horse who, at times I think, and I could be wrong, and you might not agree with me, you guys, but I think sometimes he's a little underestimated. We get caught up in the leap to fame and he's the champ and all that, but in his own right, Swayze is well and truly into champion status. He's won Black Fakes, Hunter Cups, Vic Cups, 2 New Zealand Cups, all these country cups. He's an outstanding horse, and probably getting into that rarefied air of being considered in the champion status. I know there'll be a few knockers saying, "Are you kidding?" But I just think he flies under the radar a bit because he's Swayze and not the brother.
Yeah, and it's amazing. Like, if you can make Bruce McAvaney Channel 7 prime time during a Galloping meeting, and they highlight you, I think you've made it, haven't you? And $2 million in the bank as well. It's not to be sneezed at.
Yeah. No, not by any stretch. So, he's a pretty special horse. He's got, Cam's got a great relationship with the horse. Jason just figured him out and has got the horse at his top. And there's still some more to come. He's not hit the bottom of him yet. So, my expectation is he wins the race on Saturday night, and then he's got bigger fish to fry, around the place, and he'll be doing a bit of travelling, but no doubt he'll be eyeing off a crack at the end of Dominion for sure.
And Freddie, just before I let you go, on our 8-race card on Friday night, have you got a best for us?
Oh, Jess, it's I thought it was a really good program, actually. If
it is a good program.
Being a Friday, you sort of I had to go through the form and sort of think, this is a pretty good race. I'll tell you one thing, and I'm being self-indulgent here. I understand that, and please forgive me, but I have a very small share in a mare called Maria Alagonda. She ran cracking behind Group 1 and Group winning mares on Saturday, beaten 5 metres in the last race behind I Keep Smiling. She was really good. Now, she's in a heat of this race for the final the following week, and she's drawn barrier 1. And I sort of look at the field, and on the way she performed the other night, she's worth something each way, because she was only beaten 5 metres behind I Keep Smiling, and we all know how good she is. I'll Have a Bubbles was in that race. Tay beat her home. So there were some nice fillies in that race, and she was beaten 5 metres. So barrier 1, I think she had barrier 6, and she's been drawing barrier 6 and barrier 8 of late. So hopefully from barrier 1, an each-way ticket. I know I'm being self-indulgent because I've got a tiny share in her, but I think she's going to run a nice race, Maria, on Friday night, Jess.
I think I can guarantee you too, if she makes the final, she'll draw 1 or 2 again, because it's preferential draw 6. So she should she should draw good. She can make the final, which will need a top 3 performance this week, Freddie. You'll be in the final there the following week.
Be very exciting. She's made a final before in similarly when she first came over from New Zealand, and again didn't have a lot of luck in that race. I think she might have run just outside the placings, but I think she's going way better. Thorny's done a lot of work with her. She had a few issues in her legs, in particular her hamstrings. He turned her out, brought her back, and since she's come back, she's run some really nice races, a couple of real good finish-on performances. But I just thought on Saturday, given the calibre of filly and mare she was taking on, she ran 6th. She was up in the nose for the 5th money, but her 6th placing, she was only 5.3 behind I Keep Smiling, who I've got a big opinion of. I just think a little ticket both ways. I think she should be each way odds. Barrier 1, that'll help her. they fail, he can find a nice spot. And, let's hope for a spot in the final the following Saturday.
Well, Freddie, we know that you'll be cheering home Maria Alagonda, race 3, number 1 there for punters. So mark that down in your black book as an each-way play on this Friday night's card. Could be
a big night for me, Jess. It could be a big night if the upset of upsets happen.
The decibels. Maria, in the eastern suburbs, won't the decibels go up?
They're $9.50 in a 2-horse race, the Chooks. They probably should be $19.50 to be fair, but anyway, we might be taking unders, but yeah.
Maria a place into the Chooks a win. Look out.
Look out there, yeah. Look out.
Freddie, it's been great to have you on the Menangle Angle. Thank you so much for joining us to recap what was an amazing Garrards Miracle Mile Night, and best of luck with your calls this Friday and Saturday night here at Menangle and Penrith.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Freddie. See you soon.
Gamble responsibly. Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call 1-800-858-858 or visit gamblinghelponline.org.au. Well, David Wonson, our second special guest on today's edition of the Menangle Angle is none other than legendary trainer David Aiken, the man, the myth, the legend. How are you, Aiken?
Oh, God, Jess, you're killing me. I'm good. It just finished the team and,
I didn't rev her up on that one, Aiken, okay?
Yeah. I suffer from imposter syndrome. How do you reckon that goes?
There's not a more likeable bloke in that in the stables there on a Saturday night or a Tuesday afternoon, Aiken. Mate, it's been a couple of massive weeks for yourself and the stable. How did you enjoy the carnival? And, mate, just give us a rundown. You must have been so proud of Max over the 3 weeks.
Oh, just unbelievable, Wano. There was, your horse is going good. It's a hard race to get into. Lots got to go your way, barrier draws and things like that. But, he just, every time he went out, we were so proud of him, and he had to go 4 hard weeks in a row. But it was just, being a part of it, it's just, probably getting the end of my career, and you're getting a horse competing these races and you don't know if you're going to get another one. So we're really enjoying the ride with him.
Yeah, mate, magnificent. And 5th in that race. Look, and probably talking about that race, there was a lot spoken about this race, how good it was. Now, Ike, I know you've started in a lot of great races. I'm going to go back. I'm sorry, I'm testing your memory here, but you were involved in some maybe the greatest races, harness racing scene. I'm going to take you back one to 85, Pro Chevalier in a Dominion. You had a little horse that probably set you on your way, Toby Dwan. In that race. They still talk about it being the biggest crowd ever at Moonee Valley. Like there was 40,000 there. But the horses in that race, Jess, Pro Chevalier, Village Kid, Gamalite. Then you go to 88, another little horse you finished 3rd with, Tiff's Mystery. But in that race, you had horses like Village Kid, Bag Limit, Our Maestro. Mate, where did this one measure up to those races?
Oh, as I said, when I first that night at Moonee Valley was unbelievable because they said there was 40. That was the official one, but there's a few naughty ones got through a back gate or through the fence, and they reckon there's probably another 10 there.
And they were watching them in the cars in the infield because they couldn't get through to the in the car park.
Yeah, it was unbelievable, and I was 25, I think, at the time, and it was, what an experience, and that sort of gets you the fire burning for those sort of races, and then I just sort of, I got this mystery. Ian Clerk set him down from the country. He's a really good country horse, like a really good horse, and I ran 3rd, and then not long after that, we ran 2nd with Ultrajet. We had in Sutter and it's a little bit, you see Grimo, he's had a great run with his horses, but what it does in that time in my career was, you're in the, they're a good, flagship for your horse, and you get offered better horses, and that's what I'm saying with Jason. He just gets nice horses, and off, the job he did with these earlier horses, and it sort of snowballs a little bit. So, and that's what exactly happened with my career, when I was younger. Got better class horses, and once I was sort of racing in those type of races, it sort of, once you've done it a couple of times, it's a little bit easier to train them because you've been through the 3 heats in the final and all that sort of stuff. And same as the Miracle Mile, it's once you sort of, it's sort of, you sort of know what's required, sort of thing, working them and things like that. So, sort of that early introduction to that type of style of racing sort of helped me, a lot of times.
Well, you partnered on Saturday night with Will Rickson, who took the reins aboard Max Delight. It was his very first drive in a Miracle Mile, but a fantastic drive that he did pull off. He managed to lob 1-1 there on Leap to Fame's back. You must have been very proud of Will's efforts.
Yeah, no, it was so good, Ed, and end of the day, you just want our horse to go as good as he can go, and have no bad luck, and Will's drive provided us with no bad luck. It was just, everything went so good. We weren't disappointed. We were very proud. We were running fifth. There's a couple there probably questioning he shouldn't have got the wild card, one in particular. But, he deserved, I thought he really deserved his spot there, and for it to go so good for Will, it was so, and that'll do, driving in those races is different to any other race you're driving, and we'll get a lot out of that, going forward.
I can guarantee you from the board's perspective, he was very deserving of that wild card.
Yeah,
You've come fifth and you got beat 5 metres.
Yeah.
And he's gone to the well. He's gone to the well the last 4 weeks as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, and he was in that early rush, and actually when I got the sectionals out, it's amazing when they're off the fence. Leap to Fame he covered like 19 metres further than any other horse, and I think Max Delight was like 13 metres, and Captain Robinson was another one that were off the fence. So when they go that quick and they're around another horse, it makes a big difference. And to go and get beat 5 metres, and nearly, he probably only got beat under a metre for third. I was just so proud of it. He just, as I said, we come off the track. Nothing went wrong in the race. Will drove a great race. The horse was good, and and the horse, all the horses that beat him every horse in the race was a good horse.
Yeah, and you're right. When America, when they go them really fast times, they're usually sitting in a single file, aren't they? So they just all sort of follow each other, and they all pull out around that last turn. A bit different. Like, it was good, that TAB coverage, the view with Cameron Hart's thing, because Max Delight sat outside him. And wasn't it good? Because Will's got blamed for this, but it was actually Cameron Hart. There was a bit of in that tab vision we seen, there was someone yelling out, yeehaw, wasn't there, Jess, up the back straight. Let's go, boys.
Up in the action or something.
Up in the action,
that.
But it was actually Cameron Hart. But a lot of people thought it was Will. But that just shows you the excitement of that racing, like when them good horses and they're powering and they're going so fast that, the drivers have still got time to enjoy the moment as well. Yeah,
well, that video... it was so good as cans because you saw the way the horses were pacing. They were all out all the way. Like Swayze, it didn't look like that. It was just good coverage. And just goes, you can think, wow, how quick were these horses going,
Yeah, amazing.
Aiken, have you got any plans for Max coming up? Is he heading up to Queensland for an Inter-Dominion campaign?
Oh, that's sort of, we don't know yet. I was only talking to DJ this morning about Queensland if Terry was going up, and it's a little way off, but he rebounds so quick off races. I actually had to start him a little bit early when I gave him a freshen up after the Dominion. So I'll probably be, hopefully his first time back will be on the 5th for that Joe Wilsley free for all.
Yep.
So he's had a week on the Water Walker, and he has a little jog tomorrow. He'll just start his normal week from then on, and he's. I don't have to worry about his fitness. I think he's pretty fit at the moment.
Yeah, the 5th of April is the Joe and Michael Ilsley. That'd be nice because I know as competitive as you all were on the track there in those Harold Park days in the 80s and 90s, you were all good friends as well. So I know it would mean a little bit to you, the Joe and Michael Ilsley.
It's nice for both Joe and Michael, the whole family. There's a lot of them, but the whole Ilsley family are crackers. But old Joe, I don't think he would have said a bad word about anyone. He was a cracker.
Yeah, and I'm sure you and DJ wouldn't mind the warmer weather up at Albion Park in July. Hey, mate, we're going to go to... I don't know about the warmer
You got
weather.
a mankini, you know.
I reckon he would, wouldn't he? Oh, was it Borat? Oh, he'd hate showing that off too, down there at Breakfast Creek. Mate, we're going to go to race 1 on Friday night. You got American Hammer. Look, he returned from break in the middle of February. He's won 54.7. How's he heading into Friday?
Yeah, no, he's good. You know, I think he's a touch better on Penrith. But he's won a couple at Menangle and run a few placings. Just got good gate speed. Just can't sustain it for a long time. He's got to find a cover fairly quick. So, but he's a pretty honest racehorse, and you know, he gets the right run. He's usually around the money.
Race 3, you have Power Up in the third heat of the Autumn Gift, and he's come up with barrier 6 here, but he's run 2 seconds in his last 3 starts. How do you rate his chances?
Yeah, well, I'm really been happy with him. He was a bit of a project last year, getting him sorted out, but I'm really happy with that. And the last 2 starts, he's actually settled a lot better than he has done before. So with the right trip, he won't be too far away. I think Jason Grimson's horse, Super American, ran second to him last start. He's a pretty nice horse. So, he won't be far away.
It's a really hard race, that one too, that race. I think it's the hardest heat of all 3 heats because you've got the Timmy Richters, Alibertos, Cason's Rock, and you one from Grimmo, small tees. Yeah, it's a really strong heat, that one. Mate, we're going to go to race 4.
I think they'll go quick in that one.
I think you're right there. Race 4, we're going to head to Was a Heat Seeker. Now, you give me the look when he wasn't in the heats, and we're very open on this show, Jess.
We are.
Hope you give me that look where I walked on the other side of the barn when I knew I was going to cop it off him. So I just went up the right-hand side, and then I just sort of looked back, and then he gave me a little grin. Oh, okay, I'll go talk to Aiken again. But, mate, this is a very winnable. Although these races, as I was saying earlier in the program, they're 100. You think they wouldn't be as strong, but these races end up being really strong, these 2 heats of the 100 rated, didn't they?
Yeah, no, it's a good class. Just take those, you know, the top ones out of them, and it's like a junior free-for-all. And both those races are really good races. But Was a Heat Seeker, he got a little keen over the 2300 last week. Didn't probably finish him off like we thought he would, but he's a really good miler and he's a good front runner. So hopefully if he can get the top, he should run every time he gets to the top, he runs around 50. So he won't be too far away. He's off to America next month. So hopefully we can get his airfare before he goes.
Okay, and so by the sounds of it, you may be just at this stage looking at going forward early.
Well, yeah, he's a go forward horse. Yeah.
In the final race on the card, it's for the Square Gators, and you have number 9, Speedy Lover, engaged. He's returning from a spell following an Inter-Dominion campaign. How he's had 3 trials leading into this. What can you tell us about him?
Yeah, his trials haven't been great, but his work, I haven't trialled him for a couple of weeks now, but I sort of upped his work a little bit. I've been pretty happy with him. He progressed through the classes. When I come up here 12 months ago, he was a Tuesday trotter, and he progressed to Saturday night. And he'll benefit from the run, but because it's an 85 limit, the real good ones aren't in it. So, and he likes the 2300. So, if he does everything right, which he's been pretty good with his manners for the last 6 months. I can hopefully he'll run a good race, but he's definitely not out of that race.
Mate, unscripted question. You're back up here now. You're in Melbourne there on your own property for a lot of years in Victoria. You're back up here in the training facility. How's yourself and Colleen adapting back to life in New South Wales? And is the training centre, how is it all up there?
Oh, no, we had a nice little 40-acre farm, which we still got. And but we're in our 60s now, and a lot of work's involved, track maintenance, and looking after paddocks, and when you're on a farm, there's always something to do. So
well, you must enjoy someone else. You must enjoy someone else fixing up broken taps or meshing a track the water truck. Or
that's what I'm saying. The tracks are done nearly to the minute. Everything, what you're doing. there's some cranky guy that sends us messages all the time about the main track. I don't know who that is, but it's just hang on. We got our shavings in, they were in the way, and John came straight up, moves them, and need anything broke. Like it's so good. I don't have to do we sometimes at the farm we're on the mower for 4 or 5 hours sort of thing, but it's and then no hour and a half drive home from Milton. It's 5 minutes up the road. Your horses are back in the stable and starting their recovery, a lot quicker. So, it's great. And plus we're back home. This is New South Wales at home. It's not so much for our kids, but it is for us.
Yeah,
so it's been really good.
Back in Parramatta land, straight back into disappointment.
No football talk, I told you, David Wonson.
Straight back into disappointment. 1986, I think it was. Around the time of Toby Dwan.
But we're adopted. Soon they've been in Melbourne, we're allowed to adopt the Storm. So we're going okay there. So,
the only similarity, they got yellow in their colours, I think.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but they go pretty good. So, Colleen was a mad Billy Slater fan, so we used to go to the footy a fair bit in Melbourne. So, so we're both see the Bulldogs Storm supporter, and I'm a Para Storm supporter. So.
Well, that angry racing manager here's probably due for another message, which is going to come out probably in the next 24 hours, Jess, but I'll leave that one, go through to the Cooper.
No, you're going the right one.
Thanks, mate.
Aiken, it's been great to catch up with you today. Thank you for joining us on the Menangle Angle, and best of luck this Friday night.
Yeah, thanks, Jess. Thanks, Mikey. Bye.
Thanks, Aggie.
Gamble responsibly. Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call 1-800-858-858 or visit gamblinghelponline.org.au. Well, Wano, a really nice 8-race card coming up from Club Menangle this Friday night. The first race gets underway at 6:40 and the card features 3 heats of the Autumn Gift, the Charlie Furina Memorial, and also the Go Girlfriend Final for those mares there. So we'll get stuck straight into race 1 here, and there's quality fields right throughout these 3 heats of the Autumn Gift, but the first ones that stood out to mine in this first heat were Art of Terror. He's won 4 of his last 5 for Nathan Turnbull and Jai Coney. No Heartthrob was in a very competitive field last time and finished 5th there and hit the line strongly. And then drawn out there in number 10 is Franco Tyson for Brian Portelli, who's won his past 3 starts.
Yeah, we talk about these 80s all the time, don't we? And you can throw a dart at a dartboard, and whatever it hits is the one you can back. They're so open. This is definitely one of those races. A lot of form. You haven't even mentioned American Hammer, Montefiore, Island Bohemia, is that how you say it?
Correct.
It's going great. It's won 2 of its last 3, and a horse with a lot of potential, dangerous threats. We've seen it here last year as a 3-year-old, run some outstanding times, a couple of 150s there for Kerry Ann and Robbie Morris. I'm probably going to go number 1, Island Bohemia. It's won 2 of its last 3. Its draw's good in this race, and Jared's team's going all right. Chris Gary's driving well, so really open race, really hard, but I'll go the Barry draw. Race 1, number 1.
Race 2 is the bestinbeds.com.au pace. It's heat 2 of the Autumn Gift here. And, well, number 9, Super American, stood out for mine. He won the Golden Guitar up there at Tamworth in January. Jack Halligan set to take the reins here for Jason Grimson, and his race record stands at 5 wins from 8 starts. So I definitely think he's the one to beat.
Yeah, I think he started in the Hyundai Grattan. That was that 6th place, getting after it. His Golden Guitars come out and won. Once again, like a lot of nice horses going around. This consistent horses, She's Sweet Louise. You've also got Sweetheart Bart that's been consistent lately. But I think, Super American stands out a bit in this one, number 9.
Race 3 is the Bubba Gump Pest Control Pace, and it is the final heat of the Autumn Gift here, and it's probably the race that I'm most looking forward to seeing here at Club Menangle on Friday night, and that's because number 9, Timmy Richter, we see him resume here as a 4-year-old. We haven't seen him on the track since he was a 2-year-old, but he's a last start Breeders' Crown winner. He was also crowned Australian 2-year-old Colt or Gelding of the Year back there in 2023 when he was with Emma Stewart. He's now joined the Jason Grimson barn, and he's trialled here at Club Menangle impressively over the past few weeks. So I'm looking forward to seeing him here in this field.
Look, to be honest, this is probably the hardest of the heats. There's a lot of up-and-coming horses in this outstanding horse. Timmy Richter is a 2-year-old. I know Jason Grimson's already earmarked a race like the Eureka for this horse. Probably need a few others in it because Emma Stewart looks like she's going to have about 5 in it at the moment. But he has earmarked that race for him, so you want to be going good in this. Alberto for Luke McCarthy's going nice. We've heard from Freddie, Maria Alagonda is definite place chance. Interesting one in this too is Jason Grimson, Cason's Rock. Purchased from New Zealand. Grimo Will Rickson takes the drive there, but Timmy Richter for me.
Race 4 is the Charlie Fiorina Memorial. It's the first division of the national rating up to 100 to be run over the mile, and a really even and competitive field here. Number 5, Mickey Pins. He finished 4th 2 starts ago in the Newcastle Mile there to leap to fame. Montalbano for Chris Judd and Cameron Hart. He's drawn barrier 6, and he was impressive last time out, winning here at Menangle. Was a heat seeker for David Aiken. We know that he is a very, very nice horse. And then Kanina Provlima and Curly James, there's drawn wide out there in 9 and 10.
Yeah, it's interesting. You throw these conditions up there and it's sort of a grade that's just between the free-for-all and that 95 grade. But you also put a condition on horses that probably haven't been racing with a lot of luck. To get 20 noms the calibre of this, there was no way I thought we'd get fields as good as these that we've got. But I like number 5, Mickey Pins, Jason Grimson. Jack Callahan, he came 4th in the Newcastle Mile. He's come 2nd here in a free-for-all last week. I think that's pretty good. With any confidence, maybe not. When you've got Kanina Provlima, Curly James was a heat seeker in the same race. But, yeah, I do like Mickey Pins.
Race 5 is the feature event on the card, and that's the Club Menangle Go Girlfriend final over the mile with $30,000 in prize money on offer. And there's been heats contested right across New South Wales for this final, but I'll be sticking with the Metropolitan runners here in Aussie Joy Bell for Chris Judd and also Bella Danza for Jason Grimson. They went head-to-head at Penrith last week, and it was a very impressive go to the line. It was a very close finish with Aussie Joy Bell reigning supreme there, and she's come up with a good drawing too, and I think with that and Cam Hart to take the reins, she could be too hard to beat.
Look, these heats are conducted all over the state, and it's a race we always put on just after the Miracle Mile, and it's always well patronised, but you do have to probably come back to the Metropolitan form in a race like this. Even a horse like I Know was hard-held just on their backs there at Penrith. So, yeah, I'm probably going to stick with the 11, the Jack Callahan, Jason Grimson team with Bella Danza.
Race 6 is the Tab Pace, and it's the second division of the national rating up to 100 over the mile. And we're talking about Division 2 here, but we've got the likes of Major Perry, Line Up, Terry and JOK, all drawn to the outside, and they're genuine free-for-all performers.
Yeah, absolutely. And a couple of horses that are dipping their toes and probably open class company for the first time, like American Spirit. Royal Cruiser was a nice horse as a juvenile. So Major Perry was a really good run last start. So, look, I'm going Terry. Number 9, Terry. He was disappointed to miss runs in the sprints. He was probably a bit disappointing last week. He's got back in his races. This is a race.
Race 7 is the Cordina Food Co Pace over the mile again. A small field of 8 to go around, but it's for the 3-year-olds, and I would assume that majority of these runners here are preparing for a gold bracelet and a gold chalice campaign up there at Bathurst. But I know I gave this horse a push heading into the Derby heats, and that's number 7, Party Central for Adam Regari and Jack Callaghan. I was so impressed with his first up run at Newcastle towards the end of last year, and he finished 5th in those Derby heats, and I thought he still found the line really well in them. So I'll be hoping that from barrier 7 here, he can get the job done. Yeah,
nice race, Party Central. I think he was a high price purchase from New Zealand. I'm probably going to go to number 2, Jungle Dragon, come 3rd in a heat, finished 7th in the final of the Derby. Once again, you throw these programs on, you just sort of have a stab in the dark, and all of a sudden you get a really quality 3-year-old lineup. Captain Moore finished 4th, I think, and it was an emergency for the Derby final. So there's plenty of form around this race. Probably going to just go number 2, Jungle Dragon. Good draw. I know Sugar Pie, Honey Pie finished 3rd in the race last week. It will definitely take benefit from that run, but Jungle Dragon, a 3rd and a 7th in the heat and the final of the Derby, which was a really, really strong Derby, probably just gets the nod for mine.
The final race on the card is the Highland Harness Gear Trotters Mobile to get underway at 10:25 p.m. over the 2,300 metres, and we get to see the Square Gators take centre stage here. And number 4, Affair de Cover. He ran in the Hammerhead Trotters Mile last week where he finished 8th there, but I think coming back into the national rating up to 85 grade, he's a definite leading fancy.
Jess, I look at these races and you'd say, Wonno, please do some form, have a look at them. I think I've changed my best bet about 3 times just going through these fields at the moment. But one of those that I'll consider as the best bet is a horse called Hanover de Moon. His last start, he finished third. He beat London to a brick home. We mentioned Freddie. He come second in the Hammerhead Mile here the other day. And he's had 2 wins before that. One of those was very convincing in the standing start on a Saturday night. If he brings anything like that to this race, he's going to be extremely hard to beat. He's got really good gate speed. The 2,300 won't bother him at all. He's got Cameron Hart and the Sulky. So, yeah, I'm going Hanover de Moon, number 5.
Gamble responsibly. Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call 1-800-858-858 or visit gamblinghelponline.org.au. Well, Wonno, your best on Friday night's card?
Look, as I said, I've changed it 3 times. Like I was looking earlier at Super American, then I went down the list and I seen Terry. I just think he's dropping back 3 or 4 grades. Like just before his last 2 starts, he had a 5th, 2nd and 3rd, and they were in free-for-alls. And you can understand why they were disappointed to miss a run in the sprints. If he steps back, he's going to be extremely hard to beat. But I've talked myself into Hanover de Moon. He beat home London to a brick, as I said, last start in 3rd. And that horse that won that race was a horse called Oscar Bonavena. Pretty good form going into this in a very fast time. And this is a bit of a restricted trot. So Hanover de Moon for mine.
And I mentioned mine earlier on in the show. I gave him a big push, but that's race 3, number 9, Timmy Richter. I think his 2-year-old season was just so impressive. And I know we didn't see him throughout his 3-year-old, but he's back here as a 4-year-old. And I'll be hoping that he can go straight back into the winner's circle. So race 3, number 9 for mine. Gamble responsibly. Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call 1-800-858-858 or visit gamblinghelponline.org.au. Well, Wonno, plenty of events coming up at Club Menangle over the next couple of months. And on the 18th of March, we have an over 55s lunch at our Tuesday race meeting. So that's always really well attended, and it's a great Tuesday afternoon out for anyone that is over the age of 55. Head on to the Club Menangle website to book those tickets because you cannot walk into that event. You must have a pre-booked ticket.
I'm not going to say how old I am because I'm not that far away from joining them. But they're really good, Jess, because you tip lots of winners at those events. So if you're coming over 55, get up there and listen to Jess's tips.
We also know that we're racing this Friday night, but we also have another Friday night race meeting coming up this month, and that's on the 28th of March. The Gold Crown takes centre stage on the Saturday night, so our Metropolitan card will head over to the 28th of March, and we're looking forward to another Friday night here at Club Menangle. And on the 15th of April, the MacArthur Bulls Family Fun Day is back, so that's another event that's at our Tuesday afternoon race meeting, and you'll have a chance to mix it with some of the MacArthur Bulls players. So a great family fun day out. And Wonno,
gone pretty good this year.
Can you bend it like Beckham?
No, I can't bend it like Beckham, but they've gone pretty good this year. I think they're semi-bound or something like that. So yeah, come out and have a kick around with the boys. It'll be good.
Well, as I mentioned, plenty coming up from Club Menangle. So if you want to attend any of our events, make sure you head to the Club Menangle website and visit the What's On page for more information and to secure your place. Well, Wonno, we've come to the end of today's The Menangle Angle. It's been great to recap our Garrards Miracle Mile meeting from last Saturday night with Freddie Hastings. It was then great to speak with David Aiken, a really nice 8-race card.
The man, the myth, the legend. How good is it speaking to Aiken?
It was fantastic speaking to Aiken, and that's the end for another show. It's been great to speak with you today as well, David Wonson.
Yeah, it's good. And we're heading into a Friday night. We get a weekend off, Jess, unless we're heading over to Penrith. But get the weekend off. That's nice. We get another one of those later in the month when we've got another Friday night meeting. But it's always a pleasure to catch up. And what a great couple of weeks we've had.
It's been a massive few weeks here at Club Menangle, and it'll be another great card this Friday night. Thank you so much for joining us on the Menangle Angle, and we'll catch you here again next Thursday.